We often make life more difficult than it has to be. So how about this new year? We don't make it so difficult on ourselves. Dr. Nick joins us with some tips. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Whitney.
Boy,
Good to
I
be
love
back
the
with
sound
you.
of this topic. Let's not make life harder than it has to be, because we often do.
We often do, and we do it unconsciously because we're in that kind of habit of that human propensity of to read things maybe the wrong way.
The wrong way. Well, which is one of the first things you said, that how we make life more difficult is that we ascribe intent.
Someone swerves out in front of me. For five times in a row, I hit the red light. Right? I can't seem to find the right register at the grocery store. And it constantly, okay, somebody's out to get me. The world's against me. You know, when what might have happened is I missed an accident by having the red light, or I got to meet a great lady by standing in line. It's just, or
somebody doesn't return a text or a phone call. And when we talk about ascribing intent, immediately we take it personally, like, oh, well, I'm not important to them, they don't like me, they're mad at me, when in reality, they were so busy, or they just forgot, or they were going to, and the phone rang. And how many times does that happen to all of us?
And that resonates with another issue, which is the expectations. If I'm expecting someone to respond immediately, that's a pretty high expectation.
Yeah.
I'm already making the judgment that something's wrong if I don't hear back, instead of, again, lowering it to, well, it's what it is.
Right.
It's what it is.
They'll get back when they can.
Or again, I like to say sometimes, just be careful of the judgment. It's just another word of intent or expectations, but also to be able to communicate the expectation. You know, somebody told me recently that her father, she has an elderly father, and he always invited her to come over and spend the evening. And she thought, oh, I need to go because I know he's just so lonely. I said, why don't you ask him? Oh. Do you know why he was inviting her?
Tell me.
He thought she was lonely. You communicate, and you see that sometimes what you expected that person to want or need was wrong. Which is why communication is just so important.
And why are we so paralyzed by it sometimes?
Yeah,
why are we afraid to say, hey, Dad, so why have you been asking me over so often?
And it's so, what makes it even more incredible is that when we do it, it's like, that was so easy.
Right.
Why did I ascribe, or why did I expect? So
we're going to lower our expectations.
Lower our expectations.
So that
watch the intent, ascribing the intent. And by the way, let me make clear, I'm not necessarily saying that we go too personal. It's that negative intention. It's that something's got to be wrong. The world's against me. When the world may be saying, no, this is the best way for this to flow.
To play out.
To play out.
Which is another reason, or another way you say that we make life harder than it has to be for ourselves, which is that we're apocalyptic.
I love that word. It's the end times. We see something happen. And let me be very careful with this. I know too many people in Baton Rouge, and I think it's important for us to continue to show our sympathy with the flood. I'm sure that felt like an apocalyptic moment. But I would bet you that many people are now looking back and saying, for all the crisis, I got this out of it, or this came from it, or I've changed my understanding of values and what matters, or I'm grieving, and grieving is good, and it's making me appreciate life more. Do I cringe when the rain comes? Yes, and that's fine. That's fine. But to see everything bad as it's the end of the world is just that's where I think, and we may be stretching that a little, but I do think sometimes we do it.
Always call it henny penny. The sky's falling.
The sky's falling. The sky's falling.
And I have an uncle we call Eeyore. Because there are some people that are just that way. But boy, how much happier they would be.
And you do notice that all these are in that realm of I really don't know.
Explain.
I don't know what the intent was. Why am I judging it? I don't know what the expectation is until I talk about it. I don't know
what the future holds.
What the future holds when this bad thing happens, because bad things happen. Which leads to, I think, another one, which some people may be upset with, but I think it's still a problem, is when we always are waiting for a sign before we make a decision.
Right.
Show a sign. You know, sometimes we really have to roll the dice, or there may be many signs.
Right.
And we have to pick one.
And so then we pick the one that we really want.
Anyway, you know, or we might flip and look for a passage. We look and say, I didn't really like that one. Let me cheat.
I've so done that.
Find the one I want. And you hear it's that, what are we look? And I understand again that need to feel like, yes.
This is what I was waiting for.
This feels good, or this is what I'm waiting for. But I still think that there's times when we just have to make the choice.
Right.
We have to make the choice.
Even when it's difficult.
I remember a lady saying to me once, I just don't know what I'm going to do about this marriage. I just can't seem to face the problem. And she said, you're my sixth therapist. And I said, you know, you really don't need another therapist. You're going to make this decision when you make the decision. And you keep looking for somebody to give you the way, and you've got to create this path.
Yes.
But isn't that a wonderful sense of human responsibility?
Yeah.
It's my life. It's her life.
And
it's your life.
Her decision. Did she ever move on it?
She did move on it, and they're doing much better.
No kidding.
Yeah, just from confronting the issues and understanding where each one was coming from. In today's world of intimacy, Whitney, people change a lot. You have to keep the communication going. Not to get off the subject, but you really do.
Sure.
And that's back to expectations.
Even when you've been together forever.
That's right. We've had certain expectations when we married. 30 years, those expectations change.
True.
You know,
Yeah.
they change. So those are just a few. Those are just a few of, you know, what we need to be careful for as we begin the new year.
Because, yes, life's hard enough. Let's not make this 2017 year harder than it has to be.
Which I guess basically is down to that kind of let it go.
Yeah.
Let it go, let it be, accept what it is, and then reflect on it and think, wow, that really worked out.
Yes.
Because it usually does, and then we die. Happy New Year, everyone.
What do you say about death? It's so funny.
The preacher said it. Oh, all will be well, and if it's not all well, it's not the end. Now, I really like that.
I do too.
But
say it again.
In the end, all will be well, and if all is not well, it's not the end. Yeah. But what about the one that the preacher said?
Tell me.
You're never going to find a U-Haul on the back of a hearse. And that U-Haul could consist of all these negative thoughts.
Yeah.
I'm not going to take them with us, so let them go.
Let them go. Great.
Let them go.
Hate to let you go.
Good to see everyone. Have a great 2017.